to do anything. But you'll have to look that up to be sure. There's a slim possibility that I could be wrong. It's possible. Not likely. But it's possible. All right, we're going to go to a break. We're going to talk about something else when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to a man who's almost intelligent. Very close. Welcome back to Probably Offensive. One hell of a show. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, young lady. I agree with her. It's one hell of a show. Or maybe it will be someday. But let's move on. There's something I didn't even know that happened. I just was listening to the news. This has been a few days ago, and that is Regis Philbin passed away. Regis Philbin, the great talk show host, used to host, maybe for some of you who didn't know, he hosted Regis and Kathy Lee. That's what the show was called, I think, at first, when it first came on the air. Regis and Kathy Lee live. Actually, the show's called Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. And then Kathy Lee, who was Kathy Lee Gifford, who was a very attractive young lady. But, she's not young anymore, but still not bad looking chick. But Kathy Lee left the show. And then Kelly, the lady who is on there now, it's her show now. She's on the show with Ryan Seacrest now. But Regis, the show turned from being Regis and Kathy Lee, live with Regis and Kathy Lee, to live with Regis and Kelly. And then Regis retired. Regis retired from the show. And then the show went from being Regis and Kelly to Kelly and Michael, live with Kelly and Michael. Michael Strahan was on the show. I don't know why he quit that show. I'm thinking he shouldn't have quit. He should have stayed with it. I don't know how things were behind the scenes and what was going on. Or him moving to another show was just better for him personally, but I don't know. I think people really liked him on that show. But anyway, that's the show that Regis Philbin started. The Live with, I think it's called Kelly and Ryan. Live with Kelly and Ryan. And Ryan Seacrest took over after Michael Strahan left the show. So Regis Philbin has passed away. And I don't remember how old he is. It's like 80 something. He's in his 80s. I'm pretty sure. It might have been 90. But I heard an interview with Kelly, and she was talking about she was so sad to hear that Regis had passed away, and she was surprised because she thought if anybody's going to not die, it's going to be Regis. And it's not funny that the man died. It's sad, but I can't believe she said something that ridiculous. Like, everybody's going to die at some point. Everyone's going to die. No one's going to sidestep death, okay? So why would you say something that ridiculous? Like, I thought Regis would be the one to get around it. No, you didn't. No one's getting around it. Okay, everybody's got to die at some point. So Regis Philbin, I like the guy. I thought he was a good show host. He also was the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the game show, which is still on. I don't know who's the host of it now. I think Meredith Bierl. Meredith was on the View and took over Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I don't even know if she's the host of it anymore. But Regis Philbin was the original host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and that show was really big. Why Regis was on it when it first went on the air. It was Regis doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So Regis has actually been in the business for a long time. I never knew or knew anything about Regis until Live with Regis and Kathy Lee was on. He seemed like he was already an old guy when that show started, so I know he had to be pretty old when he passed away. So Regis has passed away, and I totally did not write down how old he was. That slipped my mind, but he was very old. He was an old dude. Okay, he was like really old, not 100, but somewhere in his late 80s or 90 or something close to that. But he's a real old dude, great talk show host, and he's no longer with us. So rest in peace, Regis Philbin. I've been paying attention to paying a lot of attention to the sporting landscape, what's going on in sports, because like I had reported before, unless this is the first time you've ever listened to this podcast, that I was, paying attention to all the professional sporting leagues and college, major college universities have shut down all their sports. All the professional leagues shut down, and now they all are trying to come back. Except for football so far, because it's not football season yet. So we'll see how they handle it in football, but it looks like baseball is having a lot of trouble coming back. They keep getting, practically the whole team of Miami Marlins. It's like 20 players tested positive. Now, as far as I know, there's only 25 players on the team on a major league baseball team's roster. I do believe there's only 25 players. So if 20 players test positive, you don't have anybody else. You only got 5 dudes to play. So it's not funny. But 20 players tested positive for the Miami Marlins. So they postponed, AKA canceled, but they're postponing their games right now. Just the Miami Marlins. The other teams are continuing to play. So I don't know how they do that in the box office. In the box scores, not the box office. But do the Miami Marlins forfeit every game, or I don't know how they handle that, because I don't think this has ever been an issue before where they're playing and guys are being tested for this virus, for COVID, and they test positive, and then the other team doesn't want to play them. And the guys who test positive have to be quarantined. So Miami had 20 players or 20 people in their organization. I think it was 20 players, all players, but they might have had some other people in the organization, trainers or something, staff members who are testing positive, but they mentioned the 20 players in the news. And so there might have been one I think the Phillies had a couple of players, 2 or 3 players test positive as well. And maybe another team might say, I don't remember. But anyway, baseball is not having the same success or result as basketball, because basketball decided to have all the teams stay in one city in Orlando at the Disney resort where they have enough hotel rooms down there for all teams, which is a lot of rooms. I mean, they got 30, is it 31? 31 professional basketball teams, and they got all of them staying in this bubble, the so-called bubble, in Orlando, and all of them they're playing games every night on this one basketball court. Like they're having all the players come down, all the teams working out in this one facility and playing games on this one court. And they've had only a few positive tests, but I'll be curious to see if it was Miami, if the Miami Heat had any more positive tests than anybody else. It looks like in football that a lot of positive tests were coming out of Texas. Miami and Texas were two hot spots where their governors were refusing to shut down back when all the other states were shutting down. Now they're paying the price and making fools out of themselves in the process, because if you just ignore the coronavirus, you're going to get it. It's going to hit you. Now, if you don't have any, if you're a healthy person, you might be unscathed by corona on the bona virus, but most people are going to, if they get the coronavirus, even if you don't have any symptoms, you're going to have some type of an effect. You're not just going to get a virus, coronavirus, or any other virus for that matter, and nothing. There's no changes whatsoever in your body. It just didn't affect you at all. It's going to affect you even if you don't have any symptoms. So, baseball's having some problems. They've had to postpone. They say they're postponing several games, but the commissioner did say that if this continues, he's just going to shut the season down for baseball. I seen tonight, before I started the show, that the Yankees and the Red Sox were playing a game in New York. So the games are moving on, but they're having some positive tests in baseball, and they postponed. They said they postponed. I keep hearing that word postpone, and I'm thinking, you mean cancel. You're not postponing, you're canceling. I don't know if they're going to get around to playing those games that they postponed for the Marlins, or they just forfeit the games and the other team, chalk it up as a win. But I've seen the Yankees and the Red Sox are playing tonight, so the baseball season is moving on, trying to, even though they're coming up with a lot of positive tests in baseball. And I think it's probably because of the travel. Because in baseball, they're not in a bubble. They're not, keeping everybody in one city and just picking a city. Because I don't know if they can. Well, there's only 25. But in basketball, there's only 12 or 15. I think they got some substitute players that they have travel with them. So basketball, they only have 15 people on a team. See, it would be not impossible, but very difficult to have the same type of thing happen in football, because there's 53 guys on the team. And that's when the season starts. When someone gets hurt, then they go and get another guy. They go get another player that just got cut. So usually in football, they have 4 preseason games, and they got like 90 guys on the roster. They got guys who they just drafted out of college. And then they have guys who they picked up as free agents. Then they have some guys who just walked on. You know,